This episode of the Infinite Thinking Machine is sponsored by Q, the K-12 High-Speed Network, and the San Francisco School of Digital Filmmaking. Woohoo!
Hello and welcome back to the ITM Live. My name is Mark Hammons with the Q Communications Committee, and I have the pleasure of sitting here. I think I do this every year, it feels like, except last year. He wasn't. No, you were here last year.
I was in an RV on the way to Detroit.
That's right, you weren't here last year. I'm sitting with Jon Corippo, the one and only Jon Corippo, also known as the Q Rockstar Baby Daddy?
Baby Daddy, yeah.
Well, is that self-proclaimed, or did somebody give you that title?
It just came to me.
Yeah?
It popped out.
Just sitting there one day thinking...
No, it was in the middle of the presentation. I went, yeah, it fits.
That's me.
Because now I have all these rock stars all over the place that I don't take care of anymore.
Exactly. You have the idea. So for those people that might not know about what a Q Rockstar is,
right?
What is a Q Rockstar?
Well, the idea was that every school that I visited, like when I worked with you at Fresno County office, it seemed like every school that I visited had some crazy over-the-top innovative teacher, and that teacher always felt a little bit isolated. And the vision is that we're going to connect all the crazy teachers. So if you take, say that California has 10,000 schools, I want you to imagine all of those one crazy teachers being connected. Mm-hmm. And that's very slowly what's happening. There's now, a few hundred of us that communicate, and we can do things now like, say, when our supervisor or administrator comes to us and says, I don't know if that's a good idea. You can say, hey, my friend down in San Diego is doing it. You want me to have him send you an email? So there's this kind of backup thing going, so it's
almost gives some authority. It gives them like some clout.
Or leverage. You could say leverage, right? It gives you the ability to be not the one crazy teacher. You're part of a one movement. And I also thought the idea was also that there's a lot of crazy, cool, and innovative things going on that people don't know about. So it's also a platform for those people to go out and say, this is the crazy stuff I'm doing in my classroom that works. Yeah. And other people go, I'm going to totally do that. And so it's really a platform for extending those teachers who are kind of isolated, very innovative, and it gives them that leverage. Ed Campos, you rock, dude.
And it gives them a badge of honor too, because I know a lot of people that they talk about being a GCT or an AD or stuff like that, and a lot of people are like, I'm a Rockstar teacher. Right. And before that it was like, okay, yeah, whatever. But now, because it's been 3 years.
No, this is summer 5, I think.
Summer 5. Yeah. So it's been 5 years in the making, and you started with one camp up in Yosemite, and now you have all these things kind of sprouting up all over the place. You're in Michigan this year. 1,500 or so in California. That was a random number. I'm just making
1,500 what?
Rockstars.
Oh yeah, I'd say right about that. Yeah.
Camps, right?
Yeah.
So one every day, like 3 every day.
Every 4 minutes.
It feels like it sometimes, I bet.
Yeah, but the other part you're hitting on is this idea of decommoditization, right? You're not just a teacher. Yeah. That you're that person at the school that if they talk about downsizing, that Rockstar teacher is not that person, because they're the lifeblood of that school. And I think it's worth clarifying for people, it's not about diva Rockstar teacher, it's more like Rockstar collaborator, Rockstar supporter, Rockstar connector, and it's very much about welcoming people in. So it wouldn't be like the distant Rockstar. It's more like, I'm going to go and help people that are quote unquote no-namers and say, no, that's awesome. You should tell people about it. And then they go to other friends and do the same thing, and they say, I got this friend. Yeah. And so it's very much a grassroots thing, but it's not about divas, it's not about individual glory, it's about celebrating each other.
Absolutely, and it's very much of a party type atmosphere where it's not about, and conferences like this are great where you come and have the keynote, but the way the Rockstars are set up, it's different because you get a little preview of what the sessions are, and you kind of get to pick and choose small numbers, right? No more than 10 to 1.
Hi, Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's a Rockstar teacher.
Yeah, right. She was one of the originals. So
OG.
And again, the idea there is, in the morning you get a 2-minute live preview of the person that you're gonna, so you can get an idea of their style and their tempo, and if that's a fit for you. And a lot of times you can go to some conferences and you see a really good speaker, and then once they're done speaking, you don't feel like you can approach them. Yeah. And if you go and see a Rockstar teacher, one of our group, and you approach them afterwards, they're going to hunt you up on Twitter. They're going to be like, I got another idea for you. I got another idea for you. Have you seen this? So it's really cool to have. Hi, Sam Patterson. It's cool to see those kind of teacher leaders that will reach out after the presentation. Right, you're joining our group.
Or just in between sessions as well, like sitting down having lunch with people or whatever, where you don't get that same type of, the only word I can come up with is intimacy at an event like that. You have such a small number, and with that, it also empowers them to go and do more things, become a GCT or an ADE or stuff like that, AMIEs and other TLAs that are out there.
All kinds of acronyms.
I know.
And you're right, because the camps are set up so that there's 10 lead learners or faculty, and there's only 100 attendees. And you spend 3 days together in a kind of camp format. So by the end, you're like, dude, that was awesome. And you've had dinner together and you've hung out together. And it's amazing to see people in 3 days go from, oh, I'm nobody, to, you know what else I think? And I did 4 of those, and I can do this. And then you see those relationships develop and go on, and it's really cool. And then all those teachers go back and they take all those skills to their schools. And that's my favorite part, is it's changing the way kids are learning.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of slide decks that make people really excited, but on Monday, it doesn't always happen in class. And our experience is that Rockstar teachers go back to class, do those things, and then tell friends, I did it, and it was rocking.
Well, and then have that dialogue that happens year round. Stuff like this, a lot of the dialogue that comes out of a conference is usually kind of one way, like, oh, I learned something really good. And you don't have a lot of that dialogue back and forth, but because you have that camaraderie with all the other Rockstars out there, it adds a whole nother element to the learning. Yep.
And then at all the Q events all year, we're doing informal meetups and touching base with each other all the way through. So it's really, it's very much a cultural phenomenon more than a technical or pedagogical. It's about appreciating each other, pushing each other, enjoying each other. It's a cool setup.
And no better person to start this whole thing with somebody who's just as warm and as engaging as you are. And I know a lot of people love to come to your sessions just because you're Jon Corippo.
Well, you know what's funny is I was just tweeting a few minutes ago. I was in David Terrio's session, and he was talking about how he's tired of us getting kids ready for life, and he wants them to do things now. Let's enjoy now, right? And literally, I think I cried 3 times in his session, because he talks about kids that are spending up until 11 o'clock at night working, and he shared the story of 3 of his former students that have died.
Oh.
And so this connection that he's made between this life that is never going to happen and all of the work that was happening in school that was kind of sucky drudgery work. And it just really, and it made me think, you know what, I realized that I'm an edu-clown in the classic Jerry Lewis way, that I can't really think about the sad part, because I will get so depressed. I have to just be positive, because the alternative is to think about how bad it is. Not a good scenario for me. It's bad. So just got to stay positive and keep moving.
Yeah. Well, I haven't said it yet, but want to congratulate you on receiving a gold disc this year. Q is recognizing you for all the work that you've done, especially around all of the Rockstar teacher camps, and just your overall leadership that you present to not only Q members, but the board members, as well as some of the Q staff. Because I think, regardless of whether you know Jon Corippo or not, I think we all look to you in some type of leadership fashion. So,
well, I would just say, I think the fact that I could be recognized for doing some impactful activity is a complete and total reflection of Q. Because Mike Lawrence, from the top down, the leadership that's given is the same thing we're talking about in Rockstar. If you have a good idea,
practice what you preach.
They will embrace you, right? So any success I've had this way is just me saying, hey, I have an idea, and Mike going, hey, that's cool. Let's do that.
Let's go.
And so much of my success has been just a direct reflection of Q. Anything that's worked out is because I've said, hey, Mike, I've got an idea. He runs it by the people. They go, hey, let's do that. And so I'm just the legacy of them saying yes to stuff, and that's cool.
Cool. Nothing wrong with that?
Nope.
Well, thanks for tuning in for this episode of ITM Live. I know that I'm the infinite thinking machine, and everybody knows that Jon is the infinite thinking machine. There's no doubt about that, right?
I don't have hobbies anymore. This is all I do. I used to have hobbies.
Work is your hobby.
Yeah, but now my work is my hobby.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for taking the time meeting with me today.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure.
You want some good trivia?
Sure.
the camera person today, River.
Yeah.
She came to Q as a freshman video student, and today she's getting paid to work on the AV team.
Nothing
As
better
a
than
college student, that is success in a bucket right there.
That's living right now.
That's living it.
That's right.
That's right. I'm just hoping that my gold disc doesn't have any Bieber songs. That's my one fear. When I listen to my gold disc, it'll be interesting to see
And what does
what
the
music's
Fox say?
on. Yeah, it has that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the B-side.
Well, oh, B-side?
Yeah.
Is that like what, an extended thing?
Oh, you have to try.
Okay.
There's only one
I'm looking
way to
forward to
find
my gold disc then.
That's right.
Does it come on a chain? I can walk around with it? Mr. T thing?
Flavor Corippo.
What's up, yo?
Yeah.
I got some Bieber tunes.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in this episode of ITM Live with Jon Corippo.
Peace out.
Looking for more great ideas? Check out infinitethinking.org to catch all previous episodes, as well as links to everything featured in this show. And if you've got mad love for the ITM, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, you are the infinite thinking machine.
You are the infinite thinking machine.